Today we're making a mashup of two of my all-time favorite confections. I'll give you a little secret. One of them is a cinnamon swirl dough that gets sliced and turns crispy and caramelized in the oven. You've probably never heard of it, but after this, you're never gonna stop thinking about it. I promise.
I'm Greg Lofts, and you're watching The Slice. Today, we're making apple slab pie. This big batch dessert will feed a crowd or give you leftovers all week long. Roll the dough into a 12 by 17 inch rectangle. A ruler is really helpful here. The dough should be nicely chilled when you start. As it rolls out, it will become warmer and more pliable.
Don't be afraid to sprinkle it with more flour if you think it needs it. You can always brush off the excess later. Just run your hand gently over the surface of the dough. If you feel any lumps or bumps, it's a little uneven, and you can go back over it with the rolling pin. Okay, now for the transfer. Slide a hand under the parchment. Flip it right over the top.
This is a jelly roll pan. It's slightly smaller than your standard half-sheet pan, about 10.5 by 15.25 inches, and be sure it has a rim for the crust. Press the dough into the bottom edges and up sides, then fold the overhang under and around the edge.
You can use the excess dough to fill in any holes on corners. It's a very forgiving recipe that way. And once this bakes up, you'll never know that there were a few patches in the corners. That's our little secret. Now this needs to chill for just a few minutes until it's firm again. Hey Molly, can you help a brother out? You guys know Molly from Frosted, right? She's the one responsible for all these beautiful swaps.
Stir together the light brown sugar, butter, cinnamon, and kosher salt in a small bowl.
I really wish you could smell this. That cinnamon is intoxicating.
An offset spatula makes easy work of evenly spreading the butter mixture over the dough.
Spread your filling all the way to the very edge. You'll see why that's important in just a minute. Okay, we are ready to roll. I'm gonna turn this around and use the parchment to help me lift that first edge. We want a tight roll, so take your time here. My mouth is already seriously watering. Is yours? Okay. Now we want to get this in the fridge to chill again so we get really clean slices.
Be sure your oven is preheated to 425 degrees before you start peeling those apples.
Oh, that one's too thin. Snacking apple.
Now sprinkle sugar, flour, salt, pure vanilla extract, and freshly squeezed lemon juice, always freshly squeezed, directly over the apples, and toss them all together.
Do you know what the most important tool in the kitchen is? It's not a knife, it's not a cutting board, it's not even a bowl. It's these, your hands. Just get in there and mix them up until everything is evenly coated. I like to use a mix of sweet and tart apples that are good for baking, like Granny Smith and Pink Lady. You'll get more flavor and texture out of it that way.
Pour the apple mixture directly into your chilled crust. Then use your palms to flatten it out as much as possible so that the top is really smooth. You want that top to hold those cinnamon swirl slices in neat, even rows.
See that in the bottom of the bowl? Do not toss that out. That is money in the bank, liquid gold. Just drizzle it right over the top. May seem like a lot of apples, but fear not, these are gonna cook down. Butter bits. It's time for the cinnamon swirl.
Cut the cold dough log into 1/4 inch thick slices. Rotate the log occasionally to keep the slices precisely round.
Now we line them up like soldiers, slightly overlapping, all the way across the top. You can really zen out with this part of the process.
Brush the pie with a lightly beaten egg. This will give it a beautiful, burnished and shiny top when it comes out of the oven.
Time to put the sparkle on top with sanding sugar. Be very generous. You really can't overdo it here. How tempting does that look? And it probably weighs about 10 pounds, so if you make it, you can skip the gym that day. Into the oven. I don't know about you, but I'm a corner piece kind of guy. Let's dig in. This Mama Jamma looks real good. It's a cinnamon roll meets an apple pie meets my mouth. A++. You have to make this at home, or you're missing out.
If you like this episode and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications.